So our topic yesterday was on abortion, and many of our students thought it was going to be no big deal, that most of the students at St. Pat's are pro-life, so why are we talking about this? We're all just going to sit here and agree with each other. And by and large, many of the students that spoke yesterday did agree and brought up the point that we shouldn't be allowed to kill babies under any circumstance. So in some ways, many of the students were right. However, one student brought up the point that maybe there's people in the class or even at St. Pat's who have a contrary opinion about abortion. Maybe they're more on the pro-choice, or at least in the gray area, and they're forming that opinion right now, and they're not really ready to come out and say it, but they think it in their hearts potentially. And I think, and I affirmed that student and said I think that student had a very good perspective, not only on that, but I would even expand it to many of the other things that happen in our students' lives. Matters of faith, whether God is real, whether Jesus Christ is who he says he is, whether the Catholic Church is the true church, or there's many religions, all kinds of different things when it comes to faith and many other moral decisions that students make. They're making it right now in their 12, 13, 14 year age ranges. The problem seems to be that our students spend a lot of time looking at social media and things like that help shape their consciences and shape their ideas during these formative times, and they kind of steer off the path a little bit. Some interesting conversations that we had, many of the students were saying that we shouldn't be able to kill babies at any time or any place. But I was telling them, I meet a lot of high school students and young adults who at one point in their life, they were staunchly pro-life. But then as they got into high school and the young adulthood, they started to realize maybe there were some gray areas. Maybe there were some reasonings to have an abortion. I say it, have an abortion, because if I were to say, maybe there are some good reasons to kill a baby, that sounds crazy. Why would anybody want to do that? So I brought that up. And really when it comes to the words we use, like, even the word abortion, it's like, But when I brought up Planned Parenthood's website, it was very interesting to hear the words that they used when they were describing what an abortion is and why someone might have it. I've referenced Planned Parenthood on this video before when it comes to, or maybe it was, I think it might have just been, no, I think it was in Real Talk videos. I'm not sure if it's Facebook or Real Talk. But when they have that little Rue search bar that you can type you can type words in and things like that. I thought I saw a kid outside my door trying to get my attention, but no, it was just a ladder or something. I'm not going to get distracted. That little Rue search bar where you can type in different questions and they give you the most ridiculous answers you ever heard in your life. Not only will you find ridiculous answers there, but you will also find ridiculous answers on their website when it comes to what abortion is. They would say that abortion is a very safe and effective procedure. And right away when I read that to the students, they were like, what are you talking about? Safe? Like, I don't understand. Like, you go in there and like these kids are saying, you go in there and you take out, this baby. Like, that doesn't seem safe for the baby, like maybe for the lady, I guess, maybe. But still, if you're talking about some of the things that go down, I mean, that anyways, they saw through that pretty quickly, which I was happy about. As I went to the description of a medical abortion, taking a pill, and they talked about how a doctor will use a gentle suction to remove the pregnancy tissue. And the students again were like, the pregnancy tissue? What's the pregnancy tissue? That's a baby. So it's interesting how we use words in ways that kind of like lessen the seriousness of the situation. We call it pregnancy tissue, or even in all the abortion cases, they talk about ending a pregnancy. Well, there are many ways to end a pregnancy. I think many of the ways that I have encountered ending pregnancies are when a baby's born. That's when a pregnancy ends. But it doesn't seem like that's actually what's happening here. Like that's here's an example of ending a pregnancy. An abortion is another example of ending a pregnancy. But we don't talk about the difference between the two. This baby has an opportunity to live. This one does not. And it's not safe for that baby when they have an abortion, because the baby always dies in an abortion, and that's not safe. So presenting these words to the students, I think, was very helpful. So with that being said, I'd like to also remind you guys that this weekend we're going to be watching a movie, First Spy, at 6 o'clock on Sunday, and I'm very excited about it. It seems that when we show movies during the school year, we're going to show one in the fall and one in the spring. It seems that we only show rated R movies. But we show these rated R movies because they're very impactful. The movie that we're going to watch on Sunday is called Unplanned, and it's about this lady named Abby Johnson. She used to work at a Planned Parenthood, and she would just go about her business and all that stuff. But when she really saw behind the scenes, saw an ultrasound of what was happening in the abortion, it totally changed her perspective on, because it brought to reality what is really happening here. and the damage that is happening to sacred human life. And again, all of our students realize that every child is sacred, no matter how they've been created or whatever, no matter how the circumstances that they come to be are. Every child is sacred and deserves the opportunity for life and beloved by God. So when she saw the realities of abortion, it changed her perspective, and now she has converted to Catholicism and speaks out against this. So we're going to watch this movie on Sunday, and I put a little review on the email that I send out, and I put it on Facebook too. So parents, because we're opening it up to 6th through 12th graders, and any adults and parents that want to come in and watch it too are more than welcome to come in and watch it. But I want people to be aware of what they might see. So there are 2 instances, I believe, and Mrs. Dreyer, our 6th grade religion teacher, presented it and just said, hey, if you can handle 30 seconds of kind of like a shock, because they do get into, and you'll read it in the review, they do get into not necessarily graphic as far as body parts go, but graphic as far as like there's blood or things like that kind of really bring to the surface of what's happening here. So you can find that all in the review, and they're very clear and thorough in the review, so you won't be shocked, or your student won't be shocked, and you guys have already talked about this. So I would recommend it from 6th through 12th grade. I know that Mrs. Dreyer would also recommend it for her students who are 6th graders. Then there are many other people around this facility who have watched the movie, parents of middle school and high school students who have taken their students to see this movie, and were happy that they had done so. They did not regret it in the slightest. So we're going to be showing it this weekend. I'll put out that review so everyone can see what it is. We'll be meeting in Bolin Hall, which is going to be right across from my office. I think we all kind of know where Bolin Hall is. If we've come to St. Pat's at any time, we kind of know where that place is at. So I'm excited about it. I think it's a movie that really, just like The Passion of the Christ that we're going to watch in the spring, it really opens our eyes to the reality of a thing that we hear about all the time, but it maybe doesn't really have the meaning that it should. So thank you guys again for helping me make these videos, by giving me the opportunity to go down there and talk to your students about these serious issues. And I look forward to doing more of it in the future and putting more of these videos out. Again, if you don't like to get the videos, just let me know, and I'll take you right off. Thanks.